Hey, this is Rama from Creations Landscape Designs, and in this video I wanted to share with you 5 ideas to consider for your front yard. But before I do that, I make videos about drought-tolerant plants, California native plants, sustainability, and anything and everything in between. So if you'd like to get more of that content in your feed, then hit the red subscribe button. All right, let's do this. The first front yard idea that I always advocate for whenever possible is to have a path that takes you from the front door to the street. In this case, for this particular project in Tustin, it's a concrete path that goes from the front porch to the street. Let me explain it this way. Say, for example, you've got 2 cars parked in your driveway and you've got company that's coming over. Now, if you have a narrow-ish driveway, which most driveways are semi-narrow, then the person is going to have to either walk in between the cars, which for some people might not be comfortable, or walk around your garden in some way just to get to the front door, which could for some people be cumbersome and annoying. But if you have a path that leads you directly from the street where the person has parked their car to your front door, then it makes it significantly easier. In this particular project in the city of Orange, it's a flagstone path. In the previous image, it was poured in place concrete with gravel. It doesn't matter what the material is. What matters is that someone can comfortably get from the street to your front door without having to jump through a lot of hoops, and that is essentially going to be more efficient. Second thing I would consider you put into your front yard is basically anything but lawn. Remove the lawn. You don't need to water it, mow it, fertilize it, and replace it with a beautiful garden that will attract all the beneficial wildlife into your home so they can party at your house. This happens to be in the city of Orange, and the wildlife comes here to hang out and gather and have a good time. This is a project I designed in 2013 in Fullerton. There's a bridge that leads to the other side of the garden. There's meandering paths throughout the garden. And there's a dry riverbed to collect the rainwater. And this works perfectly at creating a wildlife beneficial garden and a garden that the homeowners can realistically enjoy and take advantage of. Now, let's say you absolutely must have lawn for some reason. In this case, this being in the city of Dana Point, we created the fake look of lawn with a ground cover called Kurapia, Kurapia.com. It mimics the look of lawn for those that absolutely want to have lawn, but unlike traditional lawn, it is an actual plant that is very drought tolerant. The third idea that I would recommend is having some sort of sustainability feature. In this case, in the city of Huntington Beach, it's a dry creek bed, which for the most part is just more visual since in California it doesn't rain as much. But when it does, it will capture the rainwater that will percolate through the soil and eliminate as much runoff as humanly possible. You could also have a berm, which is a small mound. Or you could do something like this, which is a swale. And in this case, it's a planted swale. This is in the city of Tustin, and the homeowner actually sent this to me. Now, what happens with all this rainwater? It will percolate into the soil and again, eliminate runoff. It's also visually appealing to the eye as opposed to just a flat area of just a bunch of plant material and maybe a few decorative rocks. It's visual interest. The other feature you can have is a rain barrel. This is in Mission Viejo, and the homeowner connected the rain barrel to the gutter. The rain barrel has a spigot at the bottom, and they can basically use that water to do whatever they want with. Pretty much use it to water their raised garden beds or anything else. It works beautifully. The fourth thing that I would strongly suggest for your front yard is framing the front door if at all possible. This is a garden in Costa Mesa, and in this case, we wanted to add a pop of color, which we did with the pot. And if at some point down the line the homeowners don't like this color pottery, they can easily switch it out to something else. Now, this is what it looks like zoomed out. As you can see here, the pottery frames the door and adds something. It elevates the space and does a little bit of something. Now, you don't have to go with a pot color that's this bold. You can pick a pot color that coordinates with whatever the exterior colors are. It doesn't matter, but the point is that you're framing the area. And lastly, number 5, and these images were derived from Google with the Creative Commons, is to add lighting. I cannot stress enough how important it is to light the garden, not just so that for example, in this image, you can see that the trees are nicely highlighted, but so that if you're walking along a pathway at night, you can actually be able to see where you're going. This pathway is decently lit so that at night it's not super dark and you have no clue where you're going or what you're stepping into. And it's also great for accessibility reasons for those that have difficulty being able to see at night and need some sort of light. Because if you're going to have guests come into your house at nighttime, they got to be able to get to your front door without tripping or falling or any sort thereof.